I'm a definitely like a grunge kid for sure. You know, like I was just the right age. When my older, I was thankful that my older sister and my parents both, none of them played music, but they all loved it. They really, really loved it. So I was surrounded by music when I was young. And so I kind of just transitioned from like stuff my sister was listening to, which was all over the map. Like, uh, she kind of got me into Guns N' Roses and Def Leppard when I was like 8 or 9. And then by the time I was becoming 12, 13, 14, that was when grunge was happening. So I was just kind of like led into like heavy guitar music and something, but there was something about the like emotion, I think, in a lot of that music that I would realize later on that was connecting with me, just like seemed like some dudes that had some stuff on their chest they needed to talk about, like Alice in Chains is my favorite band of all time. I've never personally dealt with a habit like Lane was singing about on Dirt, and but I'm 12 years old and I'm hearing Rooster Jerry Cantrell sing a song about his father's time in Vietnam, and I'm like, this is moving me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was stuff like that, and then I really just like watching my parents kind of listen to stuff, and like, I remember, I think, watching my mom listen to Sade and the faces my mom would make when she would hear a song that she liked, or like Jan Arden or stuff like that. That was something that was really connected with me. It was like the idea that you can be moved by a piece of music or something, right? And that was that kind of where that whole thing came from. Was just I developed that from my family, and then I just wanted to try to make a song that somebody would feel something similar.
I grew up, my parents were both musicians, and so and my dad had a huge record collection, so it's kind of a huge mixture of things, everything from like Muddy Waters sings big Bill Brunsey to the band and Van Morrison and James Taylor, Leonard Cohen, Bob Dylan, for writing were huge influences on me, and even Townes Van Zandt. But then I'm also similar age to Dallas, just a little older, and so the grunge scene was happening as well. Yeah, and I liked Alice in Chains as well. Like there was a lot going on in the early '90s that was really great, and you know, I could love something like Leonard Cohen, but then I really love like Fugazi's 13 songs, like, which doesn't seem like something you would listen to back to back, but I think I was a pretty confused kid where it's like crying one day, but then skateboarding and playing guitar and drums too, so
Yeah.
yeah. But music is still just such a great thing to continue to discover even now. And I find, even new young artists that I keep trying to find and listen to, and to see what else is out there. Cause my interpretation of the world is, and even the way that affects the way I listen to things, and the way I see things. And so younger people have a different perspective than I do because they're growing up in a world that's different than the one that I grew up in. And so I'm always curious how that affects the delivery of the song and the topic of the song.